Evtol Weekly, episode 6. My name's Liam.
And I'm Reese.
And how are you getting on today, Reese? We've had a mad week, haven't we?
I was gonna say, yeah, it's been a good day for me. There's been, I think, a bit of a rally in certain parts of the stock market today after Trump's inauguration. How's it been for you?
Yeah, and to be fair, end of last week, I was quite good with the videos, and then end of last week, I actually, for work, I had to go across to the UK, so I was in your part of the world. But yeah, I got to catch a little bit of Trump's inauguration yesterday. It was quite good. I'm absolutely delighted. We have Joby up more or less 10%, Orchard more or less the same, and then everyone knows here both of our biggest position is Rocket Lab, and mate, 30%, you couldn't write it, could you?
Yeah, it's the gift that keeps on giving.
It is. It really is. And it's one of those, I know this is an Evtol live stream, but do you know when I'm so excited? I'm a bit like a kid in the candy store. Rocket Lab, we had it in the low phrase, and we've just seen it rise again and again, and everyone keeps telling us it's shot up too quick. Mate, honestly, I can see Rocket Lab being a $200 stock in the next 10, 20 years' time. So,
yeah,
to be fair, I'm keeping it. But will we get back to Evtol anyway?
That's it. Yeah. Well, I think just as one thing before we actually jump fully into it, you can see a lot of similarities along the path in terms of the stock price and the way that they've gone up. And I think that's what's a bit of a telling fact at the moment. But yeah, let's jump into the news. There's been a bit of a mixture, really. We've had some good news. We've seen a few of the analysts. I've seen that the price targets get raised and then the buys be dropped to maybe holds.
Okay.
So it's a bit of a mix.
JP Morgan, wasn't it?
It was, yeah, it was. So I think he's raised the price targets that he was expecting, but he's dropped the buy to a hold for ACHR.
Okay.
So it's just one of those ones where it's a bit of a mixed bag, because obviously it means that he's no longer as enthusiastic behind the stocks, but he's raised the price target, so he does actually think there is going to be more potential there than he initially thought. I think his whole thesis on it was the fact that the stock has just come up too quick, and he feels like he'll just need to consolidate for a little bit, and then before it can go anywhere else. So I think for him, he's just saying, like, hold fire and see where this is going, rather than just rally, which is very easy to do in the bull market.
What it is, everyone will remember, if you were here back in, I'd say it was episode 2, we discussed this before. Anything that rallies this quick, and you can say the exact same with Rocket Lab, and I completely agree. And this is exactly what the analyst is saying. When it comes to holding it, you cannot go up forever. And at some stage, when you're going up, when it comes up that quickly, you're gonna have a catastrophic collapse. Anything that goes up quick goes down quick. I would much rather see stocks travel up slowly, like the likes of your Coca-Cola, your J&J, and have that little bit of a floor behind them on every step. Anything that accelerates up that quickly, I'd be very, very careful now. Look, if you believe in the likes of Joby and ACHR, this is an unbelievable price still. I know we're really overbought at the moment, but like, if you think Joby and ACHR, I had someone in the comments yesterday, he thinks Joby is going to be $100 stock. If you think it's going to be $100 stock, that's a 10x from today. So you'd be gutted if you didn't get in. Look, I'm not going to question you whether you got in at $10 or you got in at $7.50 if we get to $100. You're not going to remember. Like, Reese, thinking about it, do you know every buy we've ever had on Rocket Lab? And back then we were messing around between 450, 420, 430. I won't buy it because it's 10 cents.
Yeah. I remember buying in at 484. Yeah, I remember I bought in at 484 and it went down to 420, and I felt like the biggest fool ever. And I was kicking myself for weeks. and then it went down to 390 and 380, and I thought, I've made a massive fuck up here. And then I believed, let it sit, and now we're sitting at what, $30.
Yeah.
So at this point here now, would it have mattered whether it was 380 or it would have been 480? As long as you got in at that price like range,
Yeah.
Rather than and then when it gets to 30, you're laughing.
Well, that's the thing, and that's what I'm starting to struggle at. I'm so sorry, guys, that we're talking a lot about Rocket Lab. I'm just so excited at the moment. But look, we've been trading in the range of between $28 to $23, I'd say, and I've been holding fire, pulling the trigger a few times. I have added a few shares at $23, but look, I'm gutted again today because it seems to go up when you least expect it. I didn't expect it to go up that quick. Now, I do think it's to do with the inauguration and Trump basically reckoning that the US will own Mars. I could see it pulling back a little bit. Then when it comes to the your neutron timelines, if we get any delays on that, I'm not too bothered if we get delays, but any of these short-minded investors, if we get a delay on that, they're going to jump out quickly and we'll see it collapse down. But look, I am Rocket Lab long-term. I'm Joby and ACHR long-term. Do you know what? Over these last few weeks, I'm starting to get quite heavy on Joby. ACHR's had all the good news, and I just think Joby's a bit like that silent workhorse.
Yeah.
I do think Joby have quite a bit on the cards. Do I think Trump will accelerate certification? Not necessarily. I don't think he has to at this stage. I think it's just going to get over the line as and when it gets over the line. With it this close now, we've been expecting the 2025. I'd expect it to, I'd say, end of Q2, start Q3. I'd hope to get it across the line. But anyway, we've seen Tesla today had a little bit of a up and down day, shall we say. And I thought, would that affect the whole electric market? Now, I think that's all to do with all these papers Trump is signing at the moment and a bit of drill, baby, drill. But it didn't seem to affect the Joby and ACHRs. No. Do you think the fact that Trump has pulled out of the likes of the Paris Climate Treaty, the fact that he's going back to fossil fuels heavily, do you think it's going to affect the likes of Joby and ACHR?
I think they'll still
on the chin.
Yeah, I could see the demand for it might not be as prevalent, and there'll be probably less subsidies offered, whereas they might have been before, as it was part of that initiative. But America is probably one of the only countries that won't be looking for a sustainable or a more sustainable method for the time being. But I can also see that why would they not be looking for the most sustainable method? So maybe you might not get as many subsidies, but they'll still probably want the technology. And if they get the option, if they see it over in the Middle East, Saudi Arabia, Dubai, I can't imagine the major cities are going to want to fall too far behind that technology, especially if it's American-owned companies and they're meant to be promoting American-owned businesses. Surely there's going to have to be some sort of tax incentives for them to develop this technology and bring it out in America where it's being manufactured. It just seems a bit counterproductive if they do anything else.
Yeah, I get you. All I want to say on it really is we're going to come back to this a little bit later, but me and you have heavily dove into the ACHR and Joby earnings calls for the last quarter.
Yes.
And we've kind of... I want to give the guys a little bit of a background. So me and Reese have done this ever since we started investing in Rocket Lab, and we thought we'd start doing it, especially that we've a dedicated channel to ACHR and Joby. We thought we really need to do this. So we basically listened back to the earnings call and we critiqued it left, right, and centre. And we wrote on a few points what we want to see in the Q4 earnings call. But one thing we really want to see, like we've seen Adam Goldstein this week, back in the United Arab Emirates. We want to see a little bit more material on that. We want to see what's actually happening. Are they actually going to get into and operating in Q4 25? Or is it going to be pushed back to Q1 26? We then want to see the likes of operational milestones across there. Yeah. What are your thoughts? Do you think they will hit that Q4 25, or do you think we will push back until...
It's very difficult to tell at the moment because they sort of just give us a topic. They keep everything as vague as possible. There's no detail. So at the moment, it's a bit like guessing how long a piece of string is. Like there's not enough information there to be able to make an educated guess. Whereas that's where I think we sort of sit more with the Joby model. At least we can sort of see they're pushing towards that certification and trying to move it out. I'm finding it at the moment, we're getting like small, like breadcrumbs. Breadcrumbs, just sort of teasing us along. And like the eager investors we are, we're just following on, and we're trying to make a mountain out of a molehill. But I'd like for them to come out in this earnings call and just be a lot more direct on times and facts and dates, or target dates at least, and sort of give us the path of how we're getting to certification and when you would be expecting it, rather than sort of just saying that you're progressing a lot and we're doing well. And like these statements are sort of vague, but like anybody could really say that.
Now, this is what I'm sort of thinking. I'm along the lines that we listened to that earnings call. I done a live on it, and I remember everyone was quite disappointed with Joby at the time and how they presented. And I said it wasn't a bad earnings call. It was badly presented. It wasn't a bad earnings call. And then ACHR went and knocked them out of the park. Now, looking at the two businesses, I do think ACHR are really good at PR. And I've nothing against them for being this good at PR. But then sometimes I like to look at it and I'm a bit like, there's only so much news you can keep bringing out without actually bringing out something substantial. So I'm loving all these contracts knocking about, but at the end of the day, I just want them to hit that certification, get operationalized in United Arab Emirates, and then just hit the US like. With the likes of Joby, it's more black and white. This is what's happening. We're not going to really announce. I know they had the likes their tail certification or their not certification, their testing.
But they're entering their final stage of the certification. So this is like, that's what I mean. Like they're sort of giving us stage by stage where they are and how they're progressing. And I know we discussed last time that are they giving us too much in terms of informing us about the tail certification, but it's like feast and famine comparing ACHR and Joby. Like ACHR just
I felt a little bit frustrated when I seen Adam being posted. He was in United Arab Emirates and he was with the tourism minister or whatever. And it's a bit like, it feels like me and you come on this every week and we're saying they're in the United Arab Emirates, they're in Abu Dhabi, they're gonna do this, they're gonna do that. It just feels like we're going nowhere at the moment. Now I know this stuff takes a long time, and I think sometimes as retail investors we underestimate.
Oversimplify it and sort of kind of want an update every week, but they're probably thinking there's minimal change from 1 week to the next. It would have to be over the course of maybe a quarter where you can say, here we are now. But that's what we're sort of saying with this earnings call. I want to know what milestone we're on. Like, are we 25% of the way there? Are we 75% of the way there? Like, that's like, what should we be gearing up for? What should we get ready for? Is it going to be 2025? Will it be 2026? We don't know at this point.
That's a little bit what it's like at the moment. It's like putting a jigsaw together. Like, me and you look at this every day, and some days I feel like we're getting no further along than we were at the very start. I feel like I don't understand the topic. I felt like I understood it more at the start, because the more I dive into rabbit holes, it's like I just feel like we're constantly jumping through hoops, and hoops are being added, and the goalposts are being moved.
Yeah.
But
to be fair, I imagine the people in Joby and Archer's design team are probably thinking the same with the regulations. They're probably thinking, what, like, there's a regulation for, I don't know, for helicopters in aviation here. We've abided by that. And they're probably saying, well, you're in an urban area and it's a different propulsion system. You'll have to abide by this rule. So I guess for them, maybe that's why they can't give a definitive timeline, but just a little bit more information on where they are and what stage they're at. Because surely they know that. That's something they definitely know, is what stage they're at exactly and when they have sort of their target dates to get out of each stage.
Now, guys, I know it sounds like we're completely beating down Archer today. I promise it's nothing like that. If you listen back to, I'd say, the last 5 shows, we have been completely praising them. I just feel like today it's just a little bit of frustration leaking out because I've seen it go up 10%, but it just feels like there's nothing behind it at the moment. It just feels like it's the hype train at the moment. Yeah. I would like to see us not go up artificially because of the whole market going up. I'd like to see actual movement. But guys, let me know if you think Archer's doing an amazing job at the moment. You think they're better than Joby, please let me know below. Then when it comes to the likes of Toyota, well, not Toyota, when it comes to Joby, I want to know a little bit more about the Toyota partnership. I just want to know a little bit more of the ins and outs. I want to know, where is the capital going? Do they plan to dilute anymore, or are they happy enough with their cash burn, right? I want to know a little bit more. Oh, this might just be me being selfish because I invest quite a bit into Uber at the moment. But I want to know a little bit more about that Uber connection. I want to hear more about Elevate OS as well. I want to know, like, how far is the software progressing? What's the customer experience like? Is it streamlined for your booking services? Are they going to add any features to it? Are they planning on adding to, like, the actual Joby app as well? Or are they just going to run off their Elevate OS? Which, if anyone doesn't know, Elevate OS was formerly Uber Elevate. But I do want to know a little bit more about that. Is there anything you're particularly focused on?
Yeah, I think. Sorry, back to Archer, but like when you were mentioning about that stock dilution, or share dilution. Sorry, I would like to find out a bit more from Archer. I know there was like sort of murmurs before that they were going to have to dilute. Is that still the case for them? Like, we need to know or get just a bit more information on that.
The only thing that scares me about Archer, I do think there's a lot more capital needed. I feel like Joby is all more or less there. But then the only thing that makes me think is Archer have a secret weapon. They have the Covington, Georgia factory built, ready to go.
And
I want to know, are they... when are they planning to start these 2 Midnight aircraft per month? And are they going to start hitting delivery targets? Or is there a little bit of a pushback on it? I don't know. I just feel like I'm banging my head against the whole industry this week. And look, I get like that with all my stocks. I think it's when there's not enough news coming out about it. I like to go into the nitty gritty of what's happening, and sometimes I get a little bit frustrated when I don't know. So, guys, please don't butcher me for that.
I think that's it. You just want to, with all your stocks, you want to sort of have your, like, feel like you have your finger on the pulse, and you want to know when anything comes out, when there's any updates and any changes, so that you can make like an informed decision, and then sort of go from. But yeah, I guess there's something we're going to see. But I do think that one, like, trump card that, ironically, one trump card that Archer do have is that they'll be working with the Ministry of Defence, and I think that could help move regulation, or maybe get them the next step forward. Like if that is a partnership, they could probably help them around certain regulations, maybe from the inside, hypothetically, and maybe help accelerate it along.
Yeah, I would like to know a little bit in the call. I wonder how far they will go into the new Archer defense side of the business. Surely they're going to announce it in a big way, or are they just going to mention it and say, like, this is what we're doing now? We have our partnership with Androl. Or will they get into like what contracts they're aiming to do? I don't think they're going to shoot on that.
No, definitely. I highly doubt they'll be able to get clearance, like to be able to speak about defense contracts and stuff like that.
And then it feels like the tables have turned this week. My head's totally in Archer. Then going back to Joby, I finally found it. I said to the guys last week that Joby asked Elon a question, and I said I seen it ages ago, and I said I could not remember for the life of me where I seen it. But you know, one of those, you seen it and you're like, I'm adamant I seen it, and the more I looked for it, the more I was like, did I dream about it? But eventually, after a few days, I found it. So I put that video up the last day, and it was Joe Ben now. Guys, I think I'm clutching at straws here. It's back in 2013. Joe Ben asked Elon, what do you think of electric aircraft and VTOLs? If you haven't seen the video, Elon responds.
It's definitely worth a watch. I'd recommend everyone who's on the stream now definitely give that video a watch. It's funny because you see a very young Elon and a very young Joe Ben.
It's a very young Joe Ben. I only realised that after I seen it.
Yeah. It's just so funny how far we've come since that interview. But yeah, definitely worth it.
It seems like we're still trying to tackle the same questions and same, I don't know. Elon there expresses that an electric motor would be a lot more powerful for lift than your combustion engine. I don't think the bear's like that. We got quite a few comments in the video, but look, when the Godfather himself says it, I'm not going to question it, guys. He's a lot smarter than me or you sitting here.
You know a lot more, about engines and propulsion systems than I would.
No, it does make me laugh sometimes when I see. I don't want to call them arguments. I'll call them heated debates. When I see these guys bashing it out in the comments, and I do often wonder, like, how many of them actually are in the industry, or are they just arguing back and forward as if it was like me or you arguing back and forward? Because I just, it feels like everyone in our comments says they are in the aviation industry, and surely if you're in the aviation industry, you wouldn't be arguing with each other because you just both know what's correct and what's not correct. But that's just a thought I want to share out. Guys, also, let me know in the comments if anyone wants to call in today. It was something we've added to our streams now. Basically, you get to come on with these two beautiful men, and you get to discuss either Archer, Joby, anything Evtol. But you know what? I'm in that kind of mood today, Reese. I'm happy to hear about any stock that has done well today. As long as you come on and be respectful, I'm willing to chat with you. I think
100%.
Laughter before. But yeah, so let me know in the comments if anyone wants to join us here on the live stream, and I'll get you in with both of us. I do have a habit of saying that, you know.
Nah, don't worry, won't hold it against you.
Then,
do you want to jump into some of the comments?
Yeah, what we can do, we can jump into some of the comments here. Geez, quite a few of them here. So we have Dylan Rogers looking forward to catching live. Dylan, we missed you last week. It's good to
Yes, legend.
Dylan, I actually spoke about you last week. Dylan has quite a bit of contact with Adam Goldstein.
Yes.
I don't want to go too far into the conversation unless he wants to discuss it himself. That's his private chat. But no, he does. He genuinely, hand on heart, he does talk to Adam Goldstein. You know, this guy, what are we going to call him? Roybert. He comments on all our videos. He is getting to be one of them growing fans. So,
Yeah.
Do you know what, Race? I've only thought of something here now. You want to do something special for the community here? There's 17 in the stream, so I actually do you know what? Because I've had a bit of a frustrating day across the market, and even though it's not that frustrating, it's actually quite a good day. I'm actually feeling in a good mood today. Do you want to do something for our community?
Yeah, what are you thinking?
Okay, guys, here we go. Everyone jump into the chat and tell me how many shares of either ACHR or Joby you have, and make sure you're signed in. Once you've done that, hit the like button so I know you're ready to go, and then I'll do a surprise. We'll do a giveaway. Yeah? What do you think, Grace?
Yeah, I like the sound of that.
Yeah, we'll do a bit of a giveaway. Trump will get Joby certified. Do you think he'll get Joby certified? I don't think it really matters at this stage. I think everyone's pushing that Elon narrative that Elon is going to deregulate because of SpaceX and stuff. I don't think it really matters at this stage. I think it's either going to happen. I think
and the other thing is that for the Evtol industry, there isn't any regulations, so it's not like deregulating; it's like creating regulations. And I actually don't know if they're going to be, now that they're trying to deregulate. Does the aviation FAA regulations get put on hold for 3 months? Because I think Elon was saying that he's going to put everything on hold till he gets somebody in the head of regulations to sort of like start striking them out. And I don't know. Basically, we're gonna have to wait and see, I think. But I don't know about Trump pushing that through.
So we have Dylan. Why not? If you'll have me, I'll have. You know what? This is gonna be a strange one to the guys. Yeah. Me and Dylan and Reese, we talk quite a bit.
Yeah.
We've never spoke face to face, so do you want to bring him in?
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's bring him in. This is going to be like a family get-together. He's a brother from the other side of the world. The first hustle brother meetup. Right. Dylan, what I'm going to do... So, in Discord, I have created a channel where it is called... Let me double-check it. It's called Evtol Weekly live stream call-in. I'm going to drop an invite in today, and you're welcome to come on in. So I'll quickly do that there for you. So the invite's in there now for you, Dylan. So, guys, what are your thoughts on Rocket Lab? They flew today.
Yeah. Unbelievable.
Absolutely amazing. I would love. You know what? I haven't mentioned this enough. I want Adam Goldstein and I want Joe Ben on the stream, but you know what? I also want Peter Beck.
Just say a big thank you.
And you know what? This is not even me being cocky, but I actually think it would be easier to get Peter Beck on the stream just because he seems to be quite good to YouTube channels. Now I don't know how good he'd be to us because we do have the four main guys doing it. Oh, bit of news this week. A celebrity has commented on a video of ours. He's now subscribed to us too. Dave G Investing. So shout out to Dave.
Yes, I did. I'd seen that.
Shout out to Dave. He's told us to keep going, do what we're doing. So, Dave, I doubt you're listening to this, but if you are, thank you so much. And I would love to do a stream with you one day, the three of us, or any of the guys. Another one I know who subscribes to us is Scott O.
Yes,
I am really impressed with his work. Scott O focuses a lot more on the financials. He'd be even heavier on the financials. Like, we're not that big around them on the channel, guys. Don't you worry, we do look at them. And I think what it is sometimes is, I find when we talk about financials in our videos, people aren't that bothered. But then when they see the likes of Elon Musk, even though it's from 2013, everyone jumps in. It's a strange world, isn't it?
Yeah, it's funny how it works.
But I would love to do a call with
that's absolutely anyone in the space, really. It's always good to see another opinion, because obviously we bounce ideas off each other and with the rest of the community, but it'd be good to get like an outsider's perspective, especially on their views on Rocket Labs, and maybe even what they thought on the Evtols would be quite an interesting view, because they might have an outside.
Thought it was quite. I see Dylan's in the waiting room there, so I'll bring you in a minute, Dylan. What I have found weird about this whole industry is there's quite a connection. I thought it was just us that we're big into Rocket Lab, big into eVTOLs, but it seems to be like there's a cross comparison between the two. I find quite a few of the eVTOL guys love Rocket Lab as well, and I love it because we're actually so mad about it. So it's good that the channel can go that way.
They've got a lot of similarities between the two, and I think it's quite easy to see.
I want to put something out there now, and this is absolutely wild. I don't know if we'll do it yet. We might wait for the channel to hit maybe 2,000 subs, but I would love to do a live stream about Rocket Lab.
Yeah.
Do you know, like we do here? A bit like
very
just a chill chat, me and you talking about Rocket Lab. If any of the guys, the four big boys, want to come and join us, I don't know why they'd want to, but if they want to join two beautiful men in on the stream, they're more than welcome to. So, guys, I'm going to hold it there for a second, and we're going to add Dylan to the chat. Dylan, how are we getting on?
Hello, Dylan. How's it going?
Hey, doing well. Can you guys hear me okay?
Yeah.
Are you all good, mate?
Hey. So I'm real. Pleasure, guys. Face to face. Finally, how are y'all today?
No, very well. It's good to meet you. Finally put a face to the name.
As well, Reese. As well. Sorry, my 3-year-old took over the house, so I was like, I gotta come find a hideout spot so I don't got the background as cool as you guys going, but it will work for today. Yeah. But 100%. It's great, guys. From a day, I came in a little bit late, but from a day that just kind of was here, there, less than or whatever. It's nice to have this to come and check in and kind of have it be a break from the day and listen to you guys talk about ACHR and Joby and all the updates, and it's been really cool. So yeah.
Perfect.
So you're heaviest in ACHR, aren't you? Or have you a position in Joby as well?
Between the two, absolutely ACHR. For me, it was kind of more of just like a inside single day one. So
okay,
I think initially it was, I was looking at the two, and it was the design of ACHR. It just drew me a little bit more towards that company.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. So then, I've held a little Joby here and there. I would say with, when you're watching the stock each day, you can kind of see those channels they're trading in. So not for any big dollars or anything, but Joby might be a quick flipper, as opposed to ACHR is the one where it's like, oh, I've held more shares at a certain time. Why'd I get rid of them for this or that?
Yeah. So how did you feel about what we said earlier? Are you happy with how they are progressing when it comes to all their PR announcements? I know it was actually you that shared that, wasn't it? Usher was in one of their adverts.
So that was actually going to be one of my questions, y'all, too. So that was actually that is also what got me most interested in Archer, because I was very curious about the timeline of that commercial, and I couldn't remember if it was like an old Super Bowl commercial. But again, why would they have done it 2020, 2021 with really no mission to bring this product, or bring this mission to virtue, to bring it to light. And so really the PR I've seen through Instagram, through Adam, as well as just Archer, the PR team is just ramped. I would say almost a daily to bi-daily at this point. I believe that they are in that, but I believe they're in that Davos conference, which seemed to be a bit more tech geared. So it was nice to see that Archer, planted their foot. So I don't know if Joby's down there as well, or kind of who would be more hardware players when it seems to be, to me, a software conference. But I think the PR has been great. Adam's been great, and Archer's been great getting that out.
I think that's something we were mentioning earlier about Archer's PR is just, I think it's a different level. Like I think Joby have maybe done better in terms of letting us know where they are in terms of type certification. But then Archer's PR is just head and shoulders above. Like what we were saying about the earnings call. The earnings call, it's like chalk and cheese. Like from
I think, again, I'm going to reiterate, I think Joby's earnings call, don't think it was too bad. I just think it was the way it was presented. I think Joe Ben isn't great at presenting. And I think Adam is just next generation.
Yeah.
He's a generational presenter, right? Do you think Archer will get to Abu Dhabi in Q4? Or, Q4 25. Do you think they're going to be operating, or do you think it'll be pushed back?
I think that there will be, my gut says at least one commercial flight will take place. I can't say the scale that it will be at, but I think that they will at least launch one commercial flight, even if it may be even more PR gear, but just to hit that mark, to hit that guidance. And like you're saying on the earnings call, a lot of this is speculative talk. We're hoping that these things are going to manifest. So hearing Archer and the passion that they kind of delivered through that in their guidance, and that's what they really have to stand on. They need to bring more to the order books and deliver on the guidance that they're promising. So what about you guys?
Yeah, I just feel like it's one of those, it feels like we want more and more contracts, yeah? We have that Covington, Georgia factory. We're looking at pushing out 2 aircraft per month. I just think with the amount of aircraft we're going to need for this to be actually operationally viable, we're going to need factory after factory to be produced. And I just feel like at the moment, we just haven't got the capital in place to be able to put all this infrastructure in place. Look, I am a bull long term. I think over 20 years, 25 years, I think Archer is going to be dominating. However, I do feel like quite a few people think it's going to be certification, then we're to the moon. And I don't think it's going to be that. I think it's going to be a slow and steady process.
Yeah.
I'd
pretty much reiterate that. I feel like at the moment, I think we can all see it's been a bit of a slow burn. And like we were saying before, they've got to navigate a completely different regulatory body for just eVTOLs. This isn't something that's been done before. They're basically rewriting the rule book, so to speak. So it's not as straightforward as just creating a helicopter nowadays where you'd be like, oh, these are what the existing rules are or regulations. Let's just follow by this. They need to go, they submit their paperwork, and then it's like, oh, actually, that's not right, that's not correct. They basically got to like rewrite everything. So I could see it being I don't know, maybe 2025 or Q4 of 2025 might be too. I really hope, fingers crossed. I think it'd be brilliant if it does, but I'm hoping at the very latest it'll be Q2, Q3 of 26. But long term, I think we're going to be heading in the right direction, and it's just a process of elimination. It's it's not a if, it's a when. It's just when we get past the regulation. That's the only problem I have at the moment, and that's why I just want the if they could just let us behind the curtain a little bit and just say this is what's happening and this is where we are at the moment. That would like set a bit of my inquisitive mind at ease, so I could know, oh, this is actually where we are, and we know when it's going to be. Because at the moment, it literally is just we sort of hear a little bit of information, and you sort of like take the ball and run with it. Whereas I'd like to sort of know what they're thinking and like from their expertise and their view on the world.
So question for you. So if we go with the guidance for Archer, if they're going to be doing 2 midnights a month, when were they saying about they plan to get the first one done? So let's say they get 1 to 2 done by September. So that gives 2 a month. So let's say we get to November and they have 5 midnights. Who do you think those first ones are going to?
It's got to be. I don't think it'll be in the US. I'd be very surprised. That'd be.
You know what it is? Are they going to honor the defensive contract, or are they going to actually operate in the United Arab Emirates?
I think that's more my question.
They've promised that they're going to operate in the United Arab or in Abu Dhabi, but you can't have a contract to not honor your contract. Like, it's catch-22.
Mm-hmm.
But are they going to change the design for the defense contract? Is it a different EV, like different vertical takeoff and landing vehicle? Is it going to be some sort of hybrid? So is that like, are you completely reinventing the wheel like another time? So this is like...
I just want a lot more color around how they plan on getting this amount of vehicles out. I think it's all good news at the moment. It's PR. But when we actually break it down to the basics, it's supply and demand. And if we don't have the supply, we can't meet the demand.
But the funny thing is that the demand is there, as we can see from all these contracts.
The demand is 100% there.
So like the problem is just focusing on supply and how do we get supply over the line. And the funny thing is we actually have the factory. At the moment, it's just the product that we can't sell or can't build.
But that's like they're sitting on 6 billion in a backlog. And that's only going to rise, boys.
Yeah.
And as far as I know, that's unrealized, isn't it?
Well, at the moment, they won't be able to...
I think it is unrealized. So they can't actually access this capital yet. So they are going to want to honor these contracts.
And then so if you take the factories and if you're thinking 2 a month and then they estimate out to be 650 a year, what gets them to scale up to 650? You know, is it higher? Is it a faster rate of speed of manufacturing them out of the Georgia plant? So how are we going from 2 a month?
It seems,
to 650 a year. And then is that 650 a year? This is what I can never understand. Is this 650 a year with the 350,000 square foot factory, or is it when they upgrade it to 550,000 square foot? I don't know where the 650 figure comes from. Is it once they're fully up and running? Or do they plan on, in the near term, getting it from 2 a month up to 650 a year? Which, even at 650 a year, like, it sounds like a lot to us laymen. But if I said to you that Tesla only produced 650 vehicles, you'd be laughing at me. So, 650 aircraft ain't that much. I just think there just needs to be a lot more production clients before this gets absolutely operationally turns into a Goliath.
Yeah.
And I do think it will get there. But it's just how long is it going to take for the business to get there, and how much cash raises are we going to need?
Yeah, how many factories we need to build?
And this is where I can see where a hold rating is common from JP Morgan when they see the price skyrocket this quick. Didn't you invest a little bit with options, don't you? How has that been treating you?
Well, now that the market is so green, I've been doing less. It was a lot more fun when you were finding the diamonds in the rough, you know?
Yeah.
So and you know, it's that thing. I guess it's having that conviction. You know, it's like with Tesla. You know, buying that in the money option, but you're going to be putting down 2,200. You know, as opposed to buying a Archer in the money option where you might be doing 150. You know, to 350.
Yeah.
So it's been a little less into the option play as of late, but have looked for the entry. But I agree that right now, like as opposed to Rocket Lab, who's performing. You know, to me, there's a performance behind the product. So for me, with Archer, and especially at the run that it's been at, where again it was 6 to start the year last year, but dipping down in the 3s. So consolidating at the 8s to 9s, depending when you got in. I mean, it's a healthy gain. And just a point back to make too, it's you know, I think I invested into this company as a commercial company that saw a eVTOL that looked like it had a military look to it, or just kind of a cooler, more stylish look than Joby. That was just me. But now, you know, in talking about it, that they do have that defense contract, you know, what takes priority to them to fulfill, and I just feel like for some reason it would have to end up being the defense side. It just seems like it would be that guaranteed money. So it does bring to me, you know, it does bring that commercial question.
And I just don't think the military would order something without more or less a set time they're going to get it. I think there will be more or less a guarantee with the defense. Look, we will deliver however many midnight to you whenever. So I do think they will come first.
The new guy, I might say his name wrong, Hegseg, who's going to run the Pentagon, who's getting 20. He going through one of those Senate trials or Capitol Hill trials, and he was talking a lot about how basically so my wife works for Accenture, and they have this design lab where they'll bring in, you know, FAA, DOD, whatever, and they do these like prototypes, and you know, that's like how they sell. So Hegseg, I'm sorry mispronouncing his name, was talking about how just there's so much overhead spent where they're basically like, I'm just going to use Lockheed as a hypothetical, where they're basically ordering this aircraft. It's not what they want. They spent 1.5 billion, and then they're like, go redo it. So I think like it's going to be a lot of that. You know, Archer's really going to have to hit the mark to have these orders fulfilled. I think it's great that they got it, but I guess that just light bulbed again this change in power, not just at the top, but within who's going to represent abilities to sign or give these contracts. You know, it sounds like he's really looking for a polished product to come off the line to continue working with that company. So I think they have a tall order ahead of them. Sure.
I think that's quite an interesting point to bring up, actually. I think because it was a bit of a scandal with Boeing, wasn't it? Where they were sort of meant to be holding the presidents and things to like ransom. So I don't know if that's sort of what tailored in with it. But I think they've got to understand there's got to be research and development surrounding this Archer aircraft. And if they are going to give them the contract, they're going to have to give them time to sort of develop it and get it to a stage where it's operational. Otherwise, it's just squandering money, isn't it?
Okay, so we now have 20 people in the stream. What I'm going to do, I am going to jump across for a second. I'll let you two keep talking, and I am going to get this giveaway ready. Is that okay? Guys, if you entered in on the giveaway, you need to let us know how many Archer or Joby shares you have, and you need to like the stream and subscribe, right? So I'll let you two keep talking. I'm going to mute myself. Is that okay?
Yeah, no bother. So Dylan, have you Do you have anything invested into Rocket Lab, or are you strictly ACHR and Joby?
I got into Rocket Lab a little bit around the 22 or 25 range. So Reese, on some stocks, I feel like I'm always on the wrong end. You know, I always don't time them, whether it's Rocket Lab, Hood, like Clean Spark, Marathon, all those I buy when I should sell when I should buy, you know? And it just seems like, you know, I don't know if it's just the way one's brains works or sees the timing. So no, not currently. It really kind of came out of nowhere for me. I knew of SpaceX and such. I really had not heard of this Rocket Lab company and the progression that they were making. So what got you into?
Well, we actually we used to be following another YouTuber, and one of his members basically came on and just said about Rocket Lab, and then after that, me and Liam were just obsessed with Rocket Lab. It just seemed like such a great business. I like the way that Peter Beck spoke. He spoke with conviction. He gave a clear path, a clear plan, and to be fair, like that's where we sort of learned to just go long on it, because that's the same. We had the same problem as where you were, where it's like you buy in here, and then within a few weeks you've gone down, and then you're selling out, and then you're sitting there like, I just broke even. What was the point of like that month or something? Whereas then now that's what we sort of look with Joby and ACHR of a longer time frame, because like timing the market is harder than time in the market is better than time in the market. That's my phrase. Like that would be something I'd write down to myself. But
really quick credit to you guys. I have stuck to that buying on the red days and just leaving alone. And so I just quick credit to you guys. That has started.
Yeah. Well, the funny thing is that like we've only learned it through experience. Like the problem, you always have that FOMO where you see the green day and you get a bit carried away, and you're like, no, I want to make something. Everyone else is making money, and it's sort of counterintuitive that you see red and you think, oh, that's fear, better not jump in. But it turns out that's the best days to do it, because when it corrects, it ends up that you're on the right side of it.
Right. So will we do we'll do the giveaway. So guys, what we're gonna do, if you haven't already, make sure to bang that like button, make sure you're subscribed, and make sure you have your Joby and ACHR shares in the chat. What I'm gonna do, Race, you think 5 memberships? You all good?
Yeah. Let's do it.
Guys, I'm going to give away 5 channel memberships. They're going to be selected at random, but they are only for people that have engaged in the channel and are subscribed. And hopefully it'll show them on the screen. Now, guys, you know us, we haven't streamed a lot, so I don't know how this works.
Dylan, do you have any price targets for ACHR that you'd be expecting over the next, let's say, 5 years?
5 years. Good question, Reese. 5 years. I would be the first number that pops in my head. I would be happy with $35. I'm not
absolutely.
On an entry point of getting in 5 years from now. I mean, it would be great to see ACHR in the triple digits, in the hundreds. I think if ACHR could get to a $50, and I would have to do the math on what that would mean for a market cap for ACHR.
Yeah.
But 5 years, that would be almost doubling the growth each year. So that would almost be a double each year to get to 50. I'll take $38 and I'll be happy and keep investing on dips. But I'd like a. How about you?
No, it's very, very similar, really. It's like exactly how we started with Rocket Lab. We started off, we bought in probably around the $4 mark, and in our heads, the price target was always around that $40-ish dollars, and that was like probably the upper cap that we were saying would probably be on it. Obviously, every man and woman would always think triple digits, and who knows, like the Nvidia's quadruple digits. But if we could break that $30 to $40 mark, I'd be over the moon, really. And I do think it would just keep continuing up, very similar to the Rocket Lab.
What are we on about, ACHR or Joby, or both?
ACHR, we're discussing ACHR on this one.
You're on about price targets.
Price targets, yeah. Yes.
I'm sticking to it. I could put my neck on the line, but I really think I'm going to take more of a laid-back approach, and some people think I'm too bullish still, but I do think $20. I'm thinking by the end of the year. Joby, if we get commercialization, and if we can actually see a part, so there's a difference between being commercialized and then how they're actually gonna execute it. If they can tell us how they execute the path, I think Joby could be $25. I do think Joby will outtake ACHR again. But no, I'm sticking $20 for ACHR. I would be absolutely delighted if we got to 40. Well, I am sticking at $20.
I could see them staying neck and neck for a while though, until one of them does reach this type certification, and then I think that's when they'll get the nose in front, and then maybe
that's where
might get that Pepsi and Coke divide where one just pulls off and one still is ticking along. But Jesus, it'll be an interesting race to watch, I think.
I'd like to know a little bit more about their hydrogen product too. I think that could be a game changer when it comes to long distance travel in the Evtol. But then saying that, by the time they get that certified, is the battery technology just going to take off? Once Capital starts getting into this battery technology, I do think it will take off. Look, I'm not mad up on your batteries, but I think you pump enough money into anything, we can get it done.
100%.
Great, that felt good. We still have 21 in the chat. Guys, let me have a look.
Have you gifted them? You've gifted, have you? Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I've gifted 5. Now, I'm on and on. Will I gift another 5?
I'm going to have to shoot off now.
Yeah.
If that's calm.
What I'll do, everyone, make sure you like the stream. We're sitting at 15 likes at the moment. If we can get to 20 likes, I'll give away 5 more memberships.
And, I think we owe you, Dylan, a big thank you for coming on. And it was good to put a face to the name. And let's fingers crossed that ACHR and Joby are going to get to that $40 mark.
Well, that was the 5-year, but I will take
Agreed.
anything on the upside. And for me, I'd love to see ACHR and Joby climb together. But Reese, Liam, thank you so much for letting me join, and I'm sure I'll talk to you guys soon.
100%. Yeah, and for everyone else in the stream, I want to say a big thank you for watching. Another good stream, Liam. I'm sure I'll be speaking to you very soon. But,
100%. So, guys, make sure, if you haven't, go to the Elon Musk video and watch that and tell me your thoughts on it below. I think that is the most watched video for all ACHR and Joby investors.
Definitely.
Anyway, guys, race, same time next week, right?
100%. Cool. See you all.